Welcome to Be Kind Connects. I'm your host, Shabnam Islam. It's a new year, and we're celebrating Veganuary all month long with a series of extra special Connects interviews asking members of our Be Kind community why they went vegan and how it changed their lives. And our guest today is Everlyn Choi, a Southern California girl who's here to tell us all about why she went vegan. But first and foremost, Everlyn, it is so great to have you on the show today.
Shabra, it's such a pleasure meeting you as well.
Let's start off with, how did you actually find out about VKIND?
Oh, good. So I was at LACMA in LA in a museum, just walking around enjoying the museum when I saw this husband and wife. The husband was wearing a vegan t-shirt and I had to ask him where he got it. And he told me all about VKIND and how they had just attended the Peeled event. And I just couldn't believe that I wasn't already following VKIND. And so I immediately connected to them, with them and also VKIND. And so now I'm a huge fan and I'm here.
And now you are officially part of our VKIND community. And we are so excited to have you as part of our family because you are doing some big things in the vegan sphere. Now, before we talk about what you're doing, I want to talk about why and when you went vegan.
So about 10 years ago, I was just having I used to love drinking full fat and milk and cheeses. But at the same time, I had a lot of respiratory issues where I was literally in 7 different medications for asthma, allergies, and not necessarily feeling that great, feeling a little heavier, and I couldn't lose the weight. And I saw this article where it talked about not necessarily veganism, but it was talking about how changing your diet could affect how you feel. So I looked into that where they were talking about dairy, especially with dairy, and how it can affect your health, not so much on short time, but long term as well. So I looked into that, and I literally for 1 week I told myself, okay, I'm gonna give up the cheeses and the milks and yogurts for 1 week and see what happens. And I kid you not, with that 1 week span of not having any dairy or animal products at all, I felt so much lighter. And from then, I just completely cut off all of the dairy, anything dairy, eggs, yogurt, milk, and all those things. And this is pre the trend of being vegan. And once I started becoming vegan and learning more about the dairy industry and just the meat industry, I could not go back. So it's been great for my health and it's been great for my knowledge just to know what we put into our bodies and how it affects it.
And how did that impact, like what you said you're on a ton of allergy medications? Are you still on them?
Yes. Nothing. I haven't ever since I stopped that 1 week, I stopped everything. And my allergist, he was at a point that he didn't know what else to do because he said he had amped me to the highest dosages every single medication. And he was like, I don't know what else to do. So now I'm in nothing. I don't take anything at all.
I love that.
It's great.
But, let's go with the people that are like, but are you missing out on all those dairy-based foods, on those cookies, those desserts? I mean, how have you replaced that?
So I just feel like there's so many better alternatives. And in the beginning, of course, I'm not going to lie, it was very difficult because it's such a routine and you're so used to that taste and texture and just feeling how you typically feel when you have dairy. But now I feel, because I feel so much better, I have looked into different ways of substituting and how I can create either my own milk or just make better choices by reading ingredients, especially.
And, you've spent almost a decade now as a vegan. So you are beyond the baby vegan phase. You're beyond the angry vegan phase. You're now in the, let me welcome you into this veganism space, right? And how have you done that for the people around you in the last 10 years?
So I try not to be a pushy vegan because I know that could immediately scare people. And the moment, especially when you tell people, oh, something is vegan, they just immediately just cringe. But I try to come from the aspect of how it affects your health. And once they start to listen, I can kind of nudge in a little information about how it affects our animals and how cruel it is, because a lot of people, including myself in the past, I had no idea what happens to baby chicks, for example, in the egg industry. I didn't know that the males can basically put into like a machine that just grinds them to death, and it's horrifying. So I kind of push it a little bit in stages so people are more aware. And most of the time, the reaction is shocking to them, and I feel like just that planting that little seed that helps a little bit, a little bit at a time.
Now, what has been your greatest experience as being a vegan?
Aside from the health, for my health and how it has improved dramatically, I have a 10-year-old daughter now. She is vegan and she's a huge animal lover. And I think just by influencing her in that sense, where I give her the tools and I give her the information without pushing, I allow her to make her own choices. I think that in itself can help with our future generations to come, where she tells her friends, also without being pushy, what she knows. And it's innocent, where she's not trying to sell being vegan, but she's also trying to tell people, oh, if you like chicken, then you should think about what happens. And things that parents are afraid to tell their kids.
And I think when
So
you truly love someone, when you truly care about someone, it's about sharing. It's about sharing your food.
absolutely.
It's about sharing your story. It's about sharing an experience, because you really do want what's best for that person in this lifetime. And the cognitive dissonance is very difficult to break through.
Yes.
So I'd like to know what experience has been the most challenging for you in terms of helping someone transition, and what have you done to successfully navigate that change for someone else?
So I've had a couple of friends that have had. So I have a friend of mine that she just moved to the United States, and she soon after she moved to the United States, she became pregnant, which is great news. But she has an immense amount of food allergies that I've never met anyone that had so many food allergies, from gluten to potatoes to just all sorts of things that you typically would take it for granted because you eat it every day. And um, by sharing my pregnancy story and also sharing uh, my experience in becoming a vegan, she has opened up her mind to not only herself have less allergies and be able to eat healthier, not only for herself but also for her babies. And that has been, she has shared that she has been really feeling a lot better health wise, and also have even more energy to take care of her twin baby.
I
So
absolutely love that. And those are the impacts that we really appreciate that our VKIND community is making, because you are a true change maker in our community, and we love you for that. And there's something else that Everlyn is doing, guys, that you have to absolutely check out, because she's no longer working the same way that she used to a decade ago. She has a new career based on veganism. Let's talk about that.
yes. So I during the week of the pandemic, well, actually, I launched it right at the weekend of the pandemic started. I started a cookie business that is also naturally gluten free. It's called Booskies Cookies. It was inspired by my daughter. So Booskies is the nickname I gave it to my daughter. And the reason why it's called Booskies is because she allowed me. I used to nibble on her because she was such a cute baby, and she allowed me to nibble on the cookies instead of her. So yeah, so it's been quite a journey, a lot of learning, because food is not my background. I mean, I love food, but the food industry was not my background. I was actually in marketing and commercial real estate for over 20 years, and I have learned a lot. And it's been quite the experience. So hopefully it'll be nationwide in grocery stores soon to come.
But you know what I love about this, Everlyn, is that you took a chance and you really started to combine what you love with what you're passionate about and your purpose. And the thing about this is that you loved sweets from the very beginning, and they nearly
Oh
killed you.
yes,
And they nearly killed you.
yes.
And so now you've created a healthier version to indulge without all of that negative inflammation. So We are
Absolutely.
we are so excited about this. And so for those of you that want to check out Booskies Cookies, check it out right here, booskiescookies.com. I have trouble saying that, booskiescookies.com.
It's a mouthful.
A mouthful, and hopefully a delicious mouthful.
Yes.
And that wraps up this episode of VKIND Connects with the one and only Everlyn Choi, creator of Booskies Cookies. Make sure you check it out at booskiescookies.com. And to watch this episode and many more, go to www.vkindconnects.com.